Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at HBAR. Before we jump into the price action, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Check it out, it's free to join. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff here. Previously in the HBAR, we are talking about a couple of options here. We were discussing the fact that we could actually still see this play out as a flat and we could reject lower and potentially still head down towards this 0279 to this 0189 region and potentially look to break down from this zone, at this high point here. So we need to be a little bit cautious of that. That is still possible. We need to see how we react here. There's nothing indicating this at the moment, but we'll have to see what happens. I am still anticipating a little bit lower to come here, but we might push up first before we do that. So we're going to go over a couple of options here. There is also the potential, we could argue, that within this we've completed as a diagonal into this low, and we could actually be looking for a bigger move to the upside, either as basically an A, a B, and a C, or alternatively, if we move up high enough towards this 20 cent range, potentially a third wave, in which case what we'd be looking for is a bigger five-wave structure here, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So there's two ways that I'm looking at this move, and one of them is that we look at it in this manner, where we have this basically as a five-wave move into this A wave here, and then we look at this as a flat correction. If this is the case, what I'd be anticipating is after this five-wave move to the downside to see a strong rally to the upside for a C wave or a wave three to start. So we're going to be discussing that. We've come into the support zone that we were talking about previously, and now what we need to see is whether we're actually going to get a continuation to the downside. We also have within this typical fourth wave rejection area, which is this 0708 to this lower range here, which would be this 0587. So we have actually moved back into this channel and been rejected, and it does look like we have potential here for five-wave structure to develop. At the moment, though, it does look more like a three-wave to the downside. So what I'm looking out for is we might get something like this play out where we form a diagonal to complete something like this, where we get a contracting diagonal to the downside. Alternatively, we could also see some extension within this, where this becomes a 1-2. This becomes a 1-2, and we actually break much deeper. But for the most part, what I am looking for is that potential to actually still come down into this 0528 to this 0503. If we do push down deeper than that, potentially we could retest this zone of the 0486 to the 0475. So this is what we're looking for here, that potential that we actually could still see a move to the downside here. So I'm just going to discuss the other potential that we were looking at within this, where instead we actually look at completing into this high point. So we have the same idea here. The thing is, if this is the case and we're looking at this potentially as a fourth wave, this could then be a five-wave move into the height, in which case this five-wave move to the downside, we need to be cautious with what happens after it. If we do move down into this zone of this 0525 to this 0509 for this fifth wave, and we do actually look to break down into this zone, what we'd need to be cautious of is any kind of three-wave structure to the upside here. And what I'd be looking for is that this whole move could potentially become a 1-2, and then we could actually look to break down for a deeper corrective move for a third. If that was the case, this would actually look to push us much lower than that target potentially. And I mean, this would be rough. Obviously, it depends exactly how the wave structure develops, but a wave three could potentially push us down towards this 0285 off of this, where am I? Let me go down to the 618 actually. So 0207, 0270 rather, off of this 618 area. So if we do start to break down deeper here, we need to be cautious of this. There is always possibility that within this could be extending in itself already, and we could just not see it yet, and then potentially we could actually see a deeper move coming off the back of this that hasn't happened yet. So this is what this with the current information we do have, this is the most probable sort of thing that I'm looking out for. If we only form three-wave structure after we've completed this move down, potentially then we could argue that we could see continuation to the downside. So one thing I want to talk about here is if this fails to form an additional fifth wave down, then we'd be forced to treat this move differently, and potentially we'd have to look at this whole move from the top end here as a slightly different animal, and potentially we'd have to argue that we would have to break it down into corrective structure, where that would be an A, B, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 into here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into there, perhaps a flat here, and another zigzag here. So basically looking at this as a W, X, and then a Y. The problem is this X wave would be really small within here. Um, it's not my preferred count. So until it gets proven otherwise, I am anticipating one more low here, looking for around this 50528 to this 0503 region. That would be what I'm anticipating here. So within this structure that we have here to the upside, it is possible that we could move up first. And what we need to be looking out for here would be something like this. And I'm going to just turn this other stuff off. It's basically we could see a move up. Um, it's not necessarily over. This B wave might not necessarily be over. Let me just move this over to the side here. Basically, we could be looking for the C wave to play out to the upside, which could look to take us towards this 0743 off of our current area. So this is something that can still happen. We can still look to break to the upside here. The way that I'm currently looking at this, so this move over here, let me go into the RE actually. This move over here, we've got two options of really how we can look at it. Potentially, we can count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as a diagonal. And then potentially this could be a B wave or a wave 2. So this could actually just be A, B, and then C into this high. And that could be a completed corrective move. And then we could actually be looking to break down. So the way we got rejected off this channel, it is looking likely that this could continue down. But really, until we actually break down below this point here of this 0593, we need to be cautious because at the moment, this is just an A, a B, and a C. I'd like to see another fourth and a fifth here to confirm a five-wave structure. And then if we do see something like that, what we'd then be looking for would be that potential that, this could become either an A, a B, and a C to the downside. Alternatively, we form a 1, form a 2, form a 3, 4, 5, and then actually look to break down lower towards this 1-to-1. So the key zone of support really I'd like to keep here if we're looking for a typical B wave would be the 786 here. There is the possibility that because this is a fourth wave, it could form something like a flat where this becomes an A, potentially a deeper B, and then we get a flat correction for a C wave, or potentially even a triangle in here wouldn't be out of the question. But what I would be looking out for is, if we start to break down too deep here, we need to be cautious. If we take this 0542, it technically could still be an expanding flat where we'd break the low and then we push back up. But yeah, it starts to become more likely that actually we're going to start to break down. The zone we want to remain within basically here, if we're looking for this as a fourth wave, we don't really want to go too much higher than this area here of this 0707. If we start to break too high above this 0707, it becomes less likely. So even if we don't manage to push up to this 0743, potentially we could actually come back and look to test the higher end of this at a 50%, which could then lead to this fourth wave being complete. But we have actually moved up into a typical fourth wave area, so this could actually start to break down. So we need to watch this for as long as we hold above this 0542 and this 0542 and preferably this 0570, we can look for this continuation to the upside. So this could be a connector wave and we break down one more time, or this could be the start of a move to the upside where either we have this as a 1-2, 1-2, and then we start to push up, and we're going to go over that now. So within that, what I'm talking about is, so I've got this marked up. So this is just looking for a bullish potential here, where we could treat this as a wave one, potentially this is a two, and then we'd be starting to form this third wave. So the key zone here to hold, if we want to continue to look at this possibility, would be this low here of this 0588. If we break that, that would invalidate this move. So what I'm looking for here is slightly counting this structure differently. And what I'm doing here is I'm looking at this potentially as a diagonal for 1, 2, then another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this high, and then this potentially as a wave 2. So this thing here is we need to be cautious. Like I said, Potentially this could become a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to the downside. But at the moment, we just have three-wave structure. If it reverses here and we actually push up, then potentially we could be starting this move here. And what we'd be looking for would be a five-wave structure starting to develop up here, looking to push towards this zone of this 0687. If we do get a move up here into this area, potentially what we could find is support here in the zone of the 0666 to this 0644 area before looking to continue with a fifth and then have an additional fourth and a fifth here. So this could then be looking to actually so the thing is within this, if we just had a five-wave move up in the way that I've shown here, that would potentially just make this whole move here a zigzag where this becomes an A, this becomes a B, we get a C up here, and potentially we could actually look to actually challenge this channel line towards this zone here of this 0725. It just depends how long it takes to get up here, but that 1-to-1 would be this 0743. So keep an eye on that. If we just form a three-wave move up here, basically we could still see this roll over after that point. And then that's what we'd be looking for if we are looking to push up. If we do get a deeper move or a bigger impulsive move here, because we don't have all the structure, this could form a 1-2, this could be a 1-2, potentially it forms another 1-2 here, and then next thing it starts to progress to the upside, and then we have a structure which can actually take us up there. This is very choppy at the moment and hard to read. So once we start to get some, either this breaks up or down here, potentially we can then argue whether we are going towards that lower target or whether we are looking to push up one more time first. For as long as we hold those key zones, like I said, this 0588 and this 0593, potentially we can still look for this upside, but we need to be careful about this move at the end here. This is looking a bit worrying, like it could start to develop as a sell-off to the downside. But yeah, so this is what we have to do. We have to move up to this 0859 to get a bigger bullish move off this low, and then we would have to argue that potentially this retracement completed here, and we could be starting that bigger C wave to the upside, looking to potentially come up towards this 1505, and if it moves up higher towards this 2827 range, that could be a zone we look to actually push up into. The thing is, like I said as well, we need to be careful. If we do complete this fifth, then we need to just be aware that we could see this sell off one more time towards this 0404 to a 1-to-1, or if we do go impulsive lower down here, this 0270. So just be mindful of that. Everyone, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT there. Both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.